Hey, coin collectors and treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the 1994 Lincoln penny. Some people online claim that this everyday coin could be worth huge sums of money, like $1.4 million. But today we're going to separate fact from fiction and dive deep into the real history and value of this coin. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny has been one of the most widely circulated coins in the United States for over a century. Abraham Lincoln was first featured on the 1-cent coin in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of his birth, and has remained there ever since. By 1994, the design featured Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. The design you see in 1994 was first introduced in 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Mint produced pennies at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, where coins have no mint mark under the date; Denver, where a small D appears; and San Francisco, where proof coins with an S mint mark were made for collectors. Combined, the mint produced over 13 billion 1994 pennies, making this one of the most common modern cents in existence. So what is a normal 1994 penny actually worth? A circulated 1994 Lincoln penny is usually worth its face value of 1 cent. Most coins you find in pocket change from 1994 are only worth that 1 cent because so many were made and most show wear from everyday use. If a 1994 penny has never been spent and is uncirculated with full original mint red color, it can be worth more to collectors. Prices for regular business strike coins in high uncirculated grades can range from a few dollars to perhaps a couple $100 for extremely high-grade examples. Rare certified coins such as MS-68 examples can sometimes bring prices in the low hundreds of dollars at auction. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint also command premiums because they were made specifically for collectors and have mirrored surfaces and sharper details. Some of these proof pennies graded PR70 have sold for around a couple of $1,000s at auctions. Coin trackers +1. Now let's address the idea you might have heard that a 1994 penny could be worth $1.4 million. At this time, there is no verified auction record or credible sale showing a standard 1994 Lincoln penny ever selling for $1 million or anywhere near that amount. Claims of million-dollar value tend to come from sensationalized internet videos or articles that exaggerate possibilities without backing them up with documented sales data. Coin values depend on what real buyers are willing to pay, and so far, there is no real market evidence that a normal 1994 penny is worth more than a few $1,000s at most in exceptionally rare cases. That said, there are some error coins and rare varieties that can be worth significantly more than face value. One famous rarity for 1994 pennies is the wide AM or close AM variety error, where the spacing of the letters A and M in America on the reverse differs from the normal spacing. Some error coins, like those struck with incorrect dies and with sharp strike details, can command higher prices among specialized collectors. Certain error varieties have been known to sell for several $1,000s when authenticated by a major grading service. Other error types include doubled die varieties, where parts of the design appear doubled due to a die error, or off-center strikes, where the coin blank was not properly aligned. These kinds of mistakes at the mint can create coins that stand out from the crowd and attract collector interest. However, even with these rare errors, values are generally in the hundreds to low thousands of dollars range, and not in the million-dollar tier. The key point to understand is that rarity plus condition equals value. A worn coin that looks like every other penny from 1994 is cheap because millions exist. A penny that has an unusual error or is in perfect uncirculated condition might be worth more. But the extreme million-dollar values you see in clickbait titles are not supported by verified auction results or major coin price guides. If you think you have a rare 1994 penny, take a close look at it with a magnifying glass. Check the mint mark. Check for doubled lettering, unusual spacing, or missing details. If something looks very odd compared to a normal penny, consider having it examined by a professional coin dealer or grading service. They can tell you if it is a genuine error or just a normal coin with wear. Real rarity and value come from documented uniqueness, not from speculation. Rarest.org. So in summary, the 1994 Lincoln penny is a common modern coin with a long history and billions produced. Most are worth little more than face value. Some uncirculated coins and error varieties can bring prices of a few hundred to a few $1,000s. There is no credible evidence that a standard 1994 penny is worth $1.4 million. Always check real auction results and seek expert opinions before assuming a coin is worth a fortune. Coin trackers. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment with what coin you want us to explore next. Happy hunting in your pocket change treasure trove. I've got you, but I need to be straight with you so your YouTube video doesn't get flagged or lose credibility. There is no such thing as a 2014 D wheat Lincoln penny. Wheat pennies were only made from 1909 to 1958. In 2014, Lincoln cents have the Union shield on the back, not wheat. Also, no regular 2014 D penny is worth $1.2 million. That said, I can give you a strong, honest, viral-style YouTube script that explains why people think a 2014 D penny could be worth huge money, what rare errors to look for, and how to identify them. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a penny that has caused massive confusion online, sparked wild rumors, and made people search through their change hoping to strike it rich. The coin is the so-called 2014 D Lincoln penny, and some claims say it's worth as much as $1.2 million. But what's real, what's exaggerated, and what do you actually need to know before you believe the hype? Let's break it all down. First, let's clear up the biggest misunderstanding right away. The Lincoln wheat penny design ended in 1958. That means any penny dated 2014 is not a wheat penny. Instead, it features the Union shield on the reverse, symbolizing Lincoln's preservation of the United States. So if you've seen videos or posts claiming a 2014 D wheat penny exists, that information is incorrect. Now let's talk about why the 2014 D Lincoln cent still gets attention. In 2014, pennies were struck at multiple U.S. mint locations, including Denver, which uses the D mint mark. These coins were made for everyday circulation, and hundreds of millions were produced. A normal 2014 D penny in circulated or even uncirculated condition is usually worth just 1 cent to maybe a few cents. So where does the $1 million rumor come from? It comes from rare mint errors and misinformation mixed together. Some Lincoln cents from various years have sold for massive prices because of extreme minting mistakes. We're talking about errors like double die obverses, off-metal strikes, wrong planchets, dramatic misalignments, or unique one-of-a-kind errors that slip past quality control. If a 2014 D penny were struck on the wrong metal, such as silver or gold, or showed a dramatic double design visible to the naked eye, or was part of an extremely rare documented error, it could be worth thousands, tens of thousands, or in very rare cases, even more. But, even then, reaching $1.2 million would require an absolutely unique, historically important error verified by professional grading services. Another reason these rumors spread is because people confuse the 2014 D penny with the legendary 1914 D wheat penny, which is one of the most valuable and famous coins in American history. That coin, in top condition, has sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars and is sometimes exaggerated online to million-dollar levels. So when someone types 2014 D instead of 1914 D, the myth grows fast. Here's what you should actually look for if you have a 2014 D penny. Check the front of the coin for doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering. Look at the edges to see if the coin is thicker or thinner than normal. Test the weight to see if it matches standard copper-plated zinc cents. Look for off-center strikes or missing design elements. And most importantly, never clean the coin, because cleaning can destroy collector value instantly. If you believe you found something unusual, the next step is professional authentication. Reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC are essential. Without certification, even a real error coin is just a curiosity, not a proven treasure. So let's sum it up. A normal 2014 D Lincoln penny is not rare. A 2014 D wheat penny does not exist. A $1.2 million claim is almost certainly false. But rare error coins are real, valuable, and still hiding in circulation. That's why people keep checking their change. Because once in a while, a tiny mistake at the mint turns an ordinary penny into something extraordinary. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and comment below if you've ever found a strange or unusual penny. You never know. Your next coin could have a story worth telling. If you want, I can also rewrite this to sound more dramatic, or make it SEO optimized for YouTube, or turn it into a click-heavy short-form script. Just tell me. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a penny that has exploded across social media, search engines, and coin forums. Some people claim it's a rare 2019 D wheat penny worth as much as $1.2 million. Others swear they've seen proof. But what's actually real? What's misinformation? And could a 2019 D Lincoln penny really be worth life-changing money? Let's break it all down. First, let's rewind the clock and talk history. The Lincoln wheat penny was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It featured Lincoln's portrait on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the back, symbolizing prosperity and unity. This iconic design ran for nearly 50 years and ended in 1958. After that, the wheat design was permanently retired. That means any penny dated 2019 is not a wheat penny. In 2019, the United States Mint was producing Lincoln cents with the Union Shield reverse. This design represents Lincoln's role in preserving the Union and has been in use since 2010. The 2019 D penny was minted in Denver and produced in massive numbers for everyday circulation. So where does the $1.2 million rumor come from? The answer is a mix of confusion, exaggeration, and real rare coin history. Many people accidentally confuse 2019 D with one of the most famous coins ever made, the 1914 D Lincoln wheat penny. That coin is a true numismatic legend. In top condition, authenticated examples have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and exaggerated claims online sometimes push that number into the $1 million range. When dates get mistyped or misunderstood, the myth spreads fast. But that's not the end of the story. While a normal 2019 D penny is usually worth just 1 cent, rare mint errors absolutely can exist, and some modern error coins sell for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. If a 2019 D penny were struck on the wrong metal, such as copper, silver, or another experimental planchet, its value could skyrocket. If it showed dramatic doubling on Lincoln's face or lettering, a major off-center strike, or a missing layer of metal, collectors would take serious interest. However, reaching $1.2 million would require a completely unique, historically important error, something never seen before, and it would need to be verified by professional grading services. This is where many people get misled. Online videos and listings often throw out massive dollar amounts to grab attention, but they rarely show certified proof. Without authentication from trusted grading companies, a coin's value claim means nothing in the real collector market. So what should you do if you have a 2019 D penny? Start by examining it carefully. Look for unusual weight, color, or thickness. Check for strong doubling on the date, or Lincoln's features. See if the strike is off-center or missing details. And most importantly, never clean the coin. Cleaning destroys collector value instantly. If something truly looks unusual, the next step is professional grading. That's the only way a coin becomes officially recognized and valuable. Here's the honest truth. A 2019 D wheat penny does not exist. A regular 2019 D penny is not rare. A $1.2 million claim is almost certainly false. But rare coins, real errors, and valuable discoveries still happen. And that's why people keep searching their change. Because every legendary coin started as an ordinary one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and comment below if you've ever found a strange penny or heard a wild coin rumor. And remember, knowledge is what turns curiosity into real value. If you want, I can rewrite this with more hype, make it SEO optimized for YouTube titles and tags, or turn it into a dramatic storytelling version. Just tell me what style you want. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins, rare finds, history, and hidden treasures hiding in your pocket change. Today, we are diving into one of the most famous and collectible American coins of all time, the Lincoln penny, and especially the Lincoln wheat penny, the older classic design that can be worth a lot of money to the right collector. Now, many people online say that a 2006 D Lincoln penny or a wheat penny could be worth over $1 million. But here is the truth. You need to understand the coin, its history, how rarity works, and why collectors spend huge sums at auction. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny, as we know it, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The designer was Victor David Brenner, and his initials appear on some early coins. Some of these early coins are extremely rare and highly desirable because they were only made in very small numbers before changes in design or minting processes occurred. This is the birth of what collectors now call the wheat penny because of the wheat stalks on the back design. Used from 1909 until 1958, the wheat penny represents decades of American life, from the early 20th century through the Great Depression and World War II. Many of these coins circulated widely, so millions exist, but only a few truly rare examples can reach life-changing values at auction. But before we get into those rare wheat pennies, let's talk briefly about the 2006 D Lincoln penny. This coin was produced in the hundreds of millions at the Denver Mint, and in normal condition, its value is basically face value, 1 cent to a couple dollars if it is in mint condition or has a minor error. There is no standard 2006 D Lincoln penny with a normal strike that is worth $1 million. Even certified high mint state examples generally fetch only a few dollars at most on the collector market, according to coin value guides and auction records. So if you have a regular 2006 D penny, it is not a treasure beyond being cool to hold. Coin trackers. However, modern pennies, including 2006, can have errors and varieties that command premiums. For example, a double die obverse error on a 2006 D penny showed dramatic doubling of the date or the word liberty. Depending on the strength and condition of the error, those coins have sold at auction for hundreds to over $1,000. But again, these are rare specific error varieties and not your average coin sitting in a jar. CoinValueChecker.com +1. Now back to the legendary wheat pennies. The wheat penny design was replaced after 1958 by the Lincoln Memorial reverse, but these older coins are the ones that hold massive collector interest because of their history and the remarkable range of rarities. They were made in copper and had very large mintages, but certain years or error varieties were produced in such small numbers that they are now among the most valuable coins in American numismatics. Gold, silver stacks, +1. One of the most famous is the 1943 copper Lincoln penny. During World War II, the United States Mint switched the composition of pennies from copper to zinc-plated steel to conserve copper for the war effort. But a few 1943 pennies were accidentally struck on copper planchets. These coins look brown, like a normal penny, instead of silvery steel, and they are extremely rare. Only a small number are known to exist, and when they come to auction, they can sell for hundreds of thousands to over $1 million. A 1943 bronze penny has been reported selling for over $1 million at a major auction, showing just how valuable a single wheat penny can be. Next, very high on the list of important wheat pennies, is the 1909 SVDB penny, produced at the San Francisco Mint and featuring the full initials of designer Victor David Brenner on the reverse. This coin was controversial because the initials were considered too prominent and were removed early in the production run. Therefore, only a small number of these coins exist. Examples graded extremely high at auction sold for millions of dollars in recent years, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies ever sold. Coin news. Other rare classic wheat pennies include the 1914 D, with low mintage and strong collector interest, examples of which have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1922 No D error, where the mint mark did not appear, and rare steel or bronze variations from the 1940s. Each of these pennies has its own fascinating production story and value range, but the key thing to remember is that condition, rarity, and documented verification from professional grading services are what drives prices into the six-figure or seven-figure territory. Gold, silver stacks, +1. Collectors and experts always advise, if you think you have an unusually valuable penny, do not clean it. Do not try to guess its worth just by pictures or common online listings. Instead, take it to a reputable coin dealer or a grading service like PCGS or NGC, where the coin can be authenticated, graded, and properly valued. Trying to clean or alter a rare coin can destroy value, and trust me, collectors will pay for original, untouched surfaces and confirmed rarity. Finally, let's talk about the myth of the $1 million penny. There are online headlines claiming specific Lincoln pennies are worth $1.4 million or even more. Those figures often refer to the rarest of the rare, sold at specific auctions under ideal conditions. Not every example of a given date or error will sell for that much, or even close. Many viral claims are exaggerated or part of sensational content to get clicks. What truly matters is the specific variety, the coin's condition, its certification, and documented sales history from trusted auction houses. So if someone tells you a penny is worth $1 million just because of its date, always ask for real auction records and verified sales data before you believe it. You so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments what rare coins you have in your collection. Also, hit subscribe for more coin history tips, rare coin updates, and valuation guides. Until next time, keep checking those old jars of change. You might be sitting on a fortune. If you want, I can also format this into chapter timestamps, or include story examples and viewer engagement lines for a longer YouTube presentation. Here's a long YouTube video script about the 1994 Lincoln penny that tells the history, value, and the truth about wild claims it's worth $1.3 million. This script flows naturally for narration and helps educate your viewers on what's real and what's myth. Hello, coin lovers. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about a coin almost everyone has seen, but few really understand the story behind the 1994 Lincoln penny. You may have heard claims online that this penny is worth a huge amount of money, like $1.3 million. But how much of that is true, and what should you really know about this coin's history and value? That's exactly what we're going to explore in today's video. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln penny has been in continuous production since 1909, when it was first issued to honor Abraham Lincoln, on the 100th anniversary of his birth. The 1994 Lincoln Penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Series, which started in 1959. This design features Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. In 1994, the United States Mint produced billions of these pennies at multiple facilities for everyday circulation. In fact, over 6.5 billion pennies with no mint mark were struck in Philadelphia in 1994, while over 7 billion were struck at the Denver Mint with a small D mint mark. The San Francisco Mint also produced a few million proof coins with an S mint mark specifically for collectors. Because so many of these coins were made, they are extremely common in pocket change today, and most people have at least one in their change jar. Now let's talk about what a typical 1994 Lincoln penny is worth. In average circulated condition, a regular 1994 penny is only worth its face value of 1 cent. That means if you pull one from your wallet, it's probably only worth exactly what it says on the coin. Even uncirculated business strike pennies without wear often sell for just a bit more than face value, or a few dollars at most to collectors, depending on condition. A perfect coin in a high mint state grade might bring a bit more, but in general, these coins are not rare. Coin trackers. Proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint are a bit different. These were made for collectors and have a special mirrored finish. Even so, the most perfect 1994 S-proof pennies have sold at auction for a couple of $1,000s, but not millions. Certified proof coins graded at the very top of the scale bring premiums, but values are reflected by what actual collectors have paid in real auctions. Coin no. So what about the idea that a 1994 penny could be worth $1.3 million? Right now, there is no verified record of any standard 1994 Lincoln penny selling at auction for anywhere near that amount. That includes business strikes and proof coins. Claims of huge million-dollar values are usually clickbait designed to get attention, rather than statements based on documented sales results. Coin values depend on real buyers and sellers agreeing on a price, and so far, the real market has not supported $1 million valuation for this coin. That doesn't mean nothing unusual ever happened. There are rare varieties and error coins that can be worth more than face value. For example, there are double die errors, where part of the design appears doubled because of a mistake in the die preparation process. Some of these coins with strong double die features, especially visible on the reverse columns of the Lincoln Memorial, have sold for up to several $1,000s in high grades. There are also rare off-metal errors where a penny design was accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, such as a dime planchet. Those pieces can also command strong prices among error collectors because they are unusual. Wide AM or close AM, reverse varieties, and other striking anomalies can also make a 1994 penny more desirable to certain collectors. But even the most dramatic error examples documented so far are selling in the thousands of dollars range at auctions, not in the millions. A double die reverse error from 1994 in near perfect condition might bring a few $1,000s if slabbed and certified with a top grade. A normal uncirculated example might bring a few dollars or tens of dollars. Again, the values you see quoted online without supporting auction records are just speculation. This distinction between common coins and rare error varieties is really important for anyone interested in coin collecting. Most modern coins have huge mintages measured in the billions, which means collectors already have plenty of them and they aren't rare. If you find a 1994 penny that looks ordinary, it's likely worth a cent or a little more. If it has some unusual characteristic, like a striking error, or it's in truly pristine condition, certified by a grading service, then it might have extra value. But even then, the market value is grounded in documented sales and collector demand. So in summary, The 1994 Lincoln Penny has an interesting history as part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series. Most of these coins are common and worth only a little more than face value in typical condition. Some special error varieties and proof coins can be worth significantly more, but there is no credible evidence that a standard 1994 penny is worth $1.3 million in today's coin market. When evaluating any coin, always look at real auction results and consider condition, rarity, and collector interest before jumping to conclusions based on sensational claims. Coin Trackers +1. If you enjoyed this deep dive on the 1994 Lincoln Penny and want more coin stories and value guides, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what coin you want to explore next, and keep digging through those pocket change treasures. Would you like me to add suggested visuals or chapter headings to help with editing for YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about one of the most talked about pennies online, the 2017 Lincoln Penny. Its history, why it matters to collectors, and whether any of them are truly worth massive sums like $1.1 million. You might have heard videos and articles claiming that certain 2017 pennies are worth over $1 million. That sounds exciting, right? But what is real and what is hype? Today we will break it all down, from history to value and what features you should really be looking for, so you don't get fooled by clickbait. Let's begin with the story of the Lincoln Penny itself. The Lincoln Penny was first issued in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The portrait of Lincoln was a novelty at the time, because it was the first regularly circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. For decades, collectors have been fascinated with changes in design, composition, errors, and rare years, especially the famous wheat pennies made from 1909. Until 1958, those early wheat pennies can sometimes fetch tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction because of their age, rarity, or errors. But that history sets the stage for why a modern penny like 2017 can still attract attention. Now let's fast forward to 2017. That year was special for the U.S. Mint because it celebrated its 225th anniversary. For the first time in history, the Philadelphia Mint placed a P mint mark on Lincoln cents. This was unprecedented because normally coins from Philadelphia did not carry a mint mark. And that alone makes the 2017 Lincoln Penny historically interesting for collectors. There were over 4 billion of them made, so they are not rare in the normal sense. But this one-year-only P mark adds a story and collector appeal. History tells us that uniqueness can be just as interesting as rarity. So what is the typical value of a 2017 Lincoln Penny? In normal circulated condition, these coins are worth just face value, about 1 cent. Uncirculated and higher mint state examples might bring a couple of dollars to collectors. Very high-graded coins with original red color can be worth more, but most sell in the range of a few dollars to maybe a few $100, depending on condition and grading. That is according to coin price guides and market records, which show typical values for 2017 pennies and how they vary by grade and condition. https:/cointrackers.com/coin/14825 2017 Shield Penny. It is also important to understand there is a difference between historical interest and actual value. Most 2017 examples are common because of their huge production numbers. Despite the P mint mark being a one-year-only event, they were still widely distributed. Not only that, but no widely documented 2017 Lincoln Penny has ever sold at auction for anywhere close to $1 million, or even $100,000 in normal auctions. This means claims online about specific 2017 pennies being worth $1.1 million are misleading or based on misunderstandings about coin collecting. Another thing to be aware of is error coins. Some pennies, including 2017 examples, can have striking errors like doubled dies, misalignments, die chips, and other abnormalities. Those error varieties can be worth significantly more than face value if they are dramatic and certified by a professional grading service. These error coins rarely exceed a few $100s, unless the error is truly extraordinary and verified at major auctions. https://coinvaluechecker.com/2017-penny errors value. Collectors especially seek out coins in high mint state graded by services like PCGS or NGC. These grading companies evaluate condition and authenticity and assign a grade that helps determine market value. Without this professional grading, it is very difficult to get top auction prices because buyers want certainty about what they are purchasing. One common mistake people make when they hear a coin might be worth a huge sum is assuming every version of that coin provides that value. But most coins with claims of being worth $1 million are either extremely rare error coins or rare early wheat pennies from the early 20th century that command serious collector interest. Those wheat pennies are from a different era entirely and not the same as a 2017 penny, though they do share Lincoln's image. The rarest wheat pennies have documented auction sales reaching 6 and even 7 figures because of extremely low survival numbers and special conditions. Those examples are historical outliers that collectors have fought over for decades. The lesson here: when someone claims a penny is worth more than $1 million, always ask for actual auction records and certified examples. Without that substantiation, it's just rumor and hype. Now, back to 2017 P. Lincoln cents without extraordinary errors. Most are common circulating pieces worth face value. A rare error penny with a dramatic misprint might sell for tens or maybe a few $100s if authenticated and graded. But there is no documented case of a standard 2017 P Shield penny selling for a life-changing sum like $1.1 million. To sum up, if you have a 2017 P Lincoln penny, it is a cool coin because of its history and the unique P mint mark. It's worth holding on to if you enjoy coin collecting. Might want to get an uncirculated high-grade example certified, but don't expect it to make you wealthy just because of some YouTube rumor or headline. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something new today, give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what years of pennies you want me to cover next. Don't forget to subscribe for more coin history and valuation content, and always check those pockets and piggy banks because you just never know what treasure might be hiding inside. If you want, I can also turn this into chapter timestamps and talking points, or a shorter story-style narration for voiceover. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a coin that gets a lot of attention online, the 2002 Lincoln penny. Many videos and posts claim that some of these coins are worth incredible amounts of money, as much as $1.7 million. But what is real and what is rumor? Today we will get into the history of the Lincoln penny, the specific details of the 2002 issue, what makes some coins more valuable than others, and why you need to understand how coin values really work. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history. First issued in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, it has been produced every year since, making it one of the longest-running coin series in the United States. For many decades, collectors have loved earlier issues, especially the wheat pennies minted between 1909 and 1958, because those older coins can be rare and valuable, especially certain dates and error varieties. But that brings us to the 2002 penny. Misunderstanding about the word wheat. When most people talk about wheat pennies, they mean the old design with wheat stalks on the reverse. That design ended in 1958 and was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial reverse, which is what we find on 2002 pennies. So technically, the 2002 penny is not a wheat penny. This is important because it shows right away that the 2002 penny is part of the modern series and not the classic wheat penny era. In 2002, billions of Lincoln pennies were struck, by the United States Mint at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia issues have no mint mark. The Denver examples have a D below the date. And the San Francisco issues were special proofs for collectors. With such huge production numbers, the normal 2002 pennies that ended up in circulation are extremely common, and as a result, the vast majority are only worth their face value, 1 cent, to collectors. If you have one in your pocket today, it is very unlikely to be worth anything, close to $1.7 million. In typical circulated condition, a 2002 penny is worth 1 cent, and even in uncirculated mint state condition, many go for just a few dollars at most when sold to collectors or through online marketplaces. Now, collectors did find that some 2002 pennies that are in exceptionally high certified grades by professional grading services can fetch more. They might sell for tens or even a few $100s, depending on how crisp and perfect the coin is. But that is a far cry from millions. No large auction record or trusted coin guy shows a standard 2002 Lincoln penny selling for a life-changing 7-figure sum. That means claims online that any random 2002 penny is worth $1.7 million are simply not grounded in real market evidence and should be treated with skepticism. So what can make a 2002 Lincoln penny worth more than face value? The answer is errors and varieties. Coins are mass-produced and occasionally mistakes happen during striking. These mistakes include off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled because of die issues, broad strike errors, where the coin expands due to absence of the normal collar, and various die crack or planchet defects. When these errors are dramatic and the coin is in good condition, collectors sometimes pay premiums for them because they are unusual and rare relative to normal coins. According to long-term market data, specific 2002 error pennies have sold at auction for premiums over face value, and in rare cases for values in the thousands, depending on the error type and certification level. For example, coins with significant off-center strikes or popular errors graded at high levels have been recorded as selling for premiums that reflect collector demand. But even these error examples are rare and far from the claimed million-dollar level. Another type of variety that collectors look for is the so-called wide AM error on the reverse of some 2002 pennies. This occurs when the last 2 letters in the word America are spaced differently than normal, causing a visible gap that is noticeable under magnification. Genuine wide AM examples that are well preserved and authenticated can demand higher prices in the collector marketplace because they are a recognized variety. But even then, the premium is generally in the range of tens to a few $100s and does not approach 7 figures. Some coin enthusiasts also report finding unusual die break patterns, distinctive struck-through errors, or attractive surface anomalies on 2002 cents that may be collectible at a premium. But in every case, the value depends on authenticity, condition, professional certification, and buyer interest at the time of sale. Serious collectors always rely on documented auction results from reputable auction houses or verified sales data to determine real market value, not internet rumors or sensational headlines. So let's address directly the idea of a 2002 Lincoln penny being worth $1.7 million. High dollar values are possible in coin collecting, but they are almost always tied to historically rare coins from early mintage years, extremely low survival numbers, or dramatic, well-documented error types. Examples of Lincoln pennies that have sold for extraordinary sums include very early 20th century issues with tiny mintages or surprising metal composition mistakes from the World War II era. Those coins have a long history of collector interest and documented sales to justify their high prices. Without similar factors, a modern penny like the 2002 issue does not carry that kind of value. If you think you might have an interesting 2002 penny, here is what you should do. First, do not clean the coin. Never clean or polish a coin because doing that can reduce its value. Second, use a dock, magnifying glass, or loupe to look for obvious errors or unusual features. Then consider having any coin you think is special evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or submitted to a professional grading service. Such experts have the tools and experience to tell you whether what you have is a recognized error variety, what grade it might receive, and what its likely market value could be. In summary, the 2002 Lincoln Penny is a common modern coin that is beloved by many collectors for its role in the long history of United States coinage. But while some special error or high-grade examples can be worth more than face value, the vast majority are common and worth only cents or a few dollars at most. There are no verified auction records showing a standard 2002 penny selling for $1.7 million. When you hear such claims, always ask for real sales data and professional certification, because that is how the coin market truly operates. Thank you so much for watching. Found this video informative? Please give it a thumbs up, share it with other coin collectors, and let me know in the comments what coin year you want me to cover next. Don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth coin history, market value, and collecting tips. Until next time, happy hunting through your change. You never know what hidden treasure might turn up. If you want, I can follow up with chapter timestamps or a shorter condensed version for TikTok or Instagram.